Hi guys, it's Richard Haggerty here, and it's really good to be here with you. And I'd like to dive in today and talk to you about something that has come up time and time again these past couple of decades when I talk to smokers who contact me and really want to quit. They're getting to that place where they really want to stop smoking today. They just want to quit now. And here's what they say: I hate smoking, but I can't quit. Now Now I want to talk a little bit today about why that is, what's going on when you can really hate something consciously and yet still feel stuck in that behaviour. All right, and part of that is this word consciously. Okay, because if you are trying to just use willpower and you're just trying to use your thinking mind, it's rare you will make a choice, a successful choice to change your habit only with that. It is possible, but you're making life a little bit harder on yourself to do that. Okay, so what's going on when somebody says, I hate smoking, but I just can't quit? Well, look, let's consider three flavours of this. The first is what I call, I hate it, but I hate that I'm willing to go hungry. I hate that I'm willing to beg strangers for cigarettes. Like there's a kind of a hate that people have, if you will, towards their behaviour, their own behaviour, that they are willing to go so low to feed this addiction. What is partly a physiological, like an actual physical addiction, but much more strongly a psychological one. And we're going to get into that in a little bit today, but we'll get into that in some future videos as well. Okay. So the first one is just hating the fact that your self-esteem and your self-worth is taking a hit because of the way that you're behaving to feed that habit. The second thing is you regularly hear, I hate every puff. Like, I don't like the taste of smoking. I don't like the smell of it. I hate the way it goes down my throat. I hate the way it dries. I hate the way it burns. What the heck is going on? All right. And the third thing is related to this, but you'll often hear, I hate that what I might be missing out on. It's like almost like FOMO, like a fear of missing out. I hate that I might be missing out on a good experience if I don't stop smoking. All right. So, like I said, I want to talk a little bit about. We've got this kind of like context now of like, I hate this, but I don't want to do it. What's going on? What we've got here is what we call a classic parts conflict. And that conflict is not in your conscious mind. Consciously, your thinking mind knows this is not good for me. But there's an emotional pull in the other direction to engage with that behaviour. Okay, so you can have a part of you that's trying to quit and a part of you that thinks that you need to have this behaviour to achieve certain things, and they're kind of working at loggerheads. This is it's super common, okay? And the reason is this. Think about it. What are the reasons that people smoke? You know, there are 12 primary reasons why people smoke. So I'll list these now and we can come back and we'll examine these in more detail. But there are 12 primary reasons people smoke. And these are, shall we say, the psychological kind of like triggers behind what happens. The first is to boost confidence. The second is an excuse for a break. The third reason people smoke is to celebrate something. The fourth is to relax and unwind. The fifth is kind of end of a day ritual. The sixth is with a drink, you know, with that morning coffee or some alcohol, something like that. The seventh reason people smoke is to socialise. The eighth is, of course, after a meal. Ninth will be to think about life. The 10th is as a reason, as an excuse, an opportunity to chat with someone, like your partner. The 11th is to help concentration. And the 12th is just boredom, or kind of keeping your hands busy. So there are these reasons why people smoke, and these reasons end up being, they're kind of driven by a fundamental emotional sense of meeting some needs. These are the kind of deep needs that we have. We want to be able to relax, we want to be able to connect with people, okay? And one of the reasons why it can be hard to change a habit consciously or by yourself without the right support is simply because you're trying to change something consciously when there's this unmet need inside of you that needs to be addressed. Okay, and by the way, that's why things like Champix and all these kind of drugs that can be prescribed, and patches and so forth, have such and chewing gums, where the gums have such low rates of success, even though they're marketed as excellent tools. The reason they have such low successes with smokers and turn them into non-smokers is because it's not meeting those fundamental needs. It's not transforming that energy. Okay, and you can still have if you've got the physiological or the physical side addressed, but you have not met the psychological need, the psychological need is going to pull you in that direction. Okay, and that's where people find themselves in this really weird situation where it feels like you're between a rock and a hard place, because you want to quit, but there's just some drive inside you that's moving in that direction. Okay, and this is really, really important. Okay, so I want to give you a quick way in which you can, or at least a beginning part, one thing you can do right now to start to quit smoking today. And really that is this: find a strong reason to quit. All right, I want to quit smoking because, fill that gap in. All right, fill that gap in. I want to stop smoking because the only way you will stop is if you have a strong reason. All right, I want to do it so I can take my family on holiday. I want to quit because I want to be able to run a half marathon. I want to quit because I'd like to meet a beautiful woman or a beautiful man. I want to quit because I want to be able to run with my children and play with them in the park. I want to quit because I want to be able to be alive to see my grandchildren. I want to quit because I want to go to bed at night, sleep well, and wake up with energy in the morning. All right, I want to quit because, all right, you find your reason and insert that. That's what you need to do to start to quit now. Because if you don't have a strong reason to quit, then you can't start to activate and connect with that emotional side of you that is the one that's going to fundamentally motivate you automatically to make the change that you consciously want to have happen. All right, and that's where it can be helpful to have some resource, a plan in process, or contact a stop smoking expert who can work with you. Okay, and here's the thing: if you just leave it the way it is and you don't do anything, what's going to happen? All right. At best, you kind of quit for a while, and then you go back on, and then you quit, then you go back on, and you go round and round in circles, building up a cycle of a lack of trust in yourself. Or you just carry on doing the habit and coughing and smelling and spending a horrendous amount of money and feeling pretty bad inside yourself. Feeling this sense of regret that comes, if somebody says, "Oh, I absolutely hate this," you wouldn't go out for a meal and say, out of all the restaurants and out of all the meals in the world, I absolutely hate this. I'm going to keep ordering it. It makes no sense whatsoever. So, the point is that you're not going to change it by doing the same thing. You have to go somewhere else. You have to look and understand the impact of the parts inside you that have a psychological need that has been unmet. Amongst other things as well, and build a strong reason for yourself to quit. Okay, and of course, if you struggle with that, then there are people who you can talk to. I've been working now for over 2 decades, helping people all around the world to quit smoking. All right, and I want you to know that there is hope, as long as you do something different and make a decision today that you want to quit smoking now.